Somaliland has long run its own institutions since 1991 and has fought for international recognition. Israel's recent decision to recognize Somaliland landed suddenly, provoking anger in Mogadishu and reopening fraught debates across the African Union about borders and secession. Israel's recognition of Somaliland signals a strategic grab for a Horn of Africa foothold, what Somaliland and Somalia stand to lose. The announcement came at a moment when Israel is seeking new partners around the Red Sea, and it immediately turned a diplomatic endorsement into a flashpoint that mixes local secessionist politics with wider regional rivalry. Somaliland is a self-declared state with functioning government, a separate currency, and a long record of relative stability compared with southern Somalia. Somalia's federal government insists Somaliland remains part of a unitary state, and the African Union defends colonial borders to prevent cascading breakaways. Into that tense local contest steps Israel, a state expanding ties across the Middle East and Africa. Israel arrives not as a neutral mediator but as an actor able to convert recognition into security arrangements, commercial contracts, and intelligence cooperation. At the same time, other regional players, Turkey, Iran, the Gulf states, watch and respond, making Somaliland a new node in wider strategic competition. Israel's motivations are tangible and overlapping. Geopolitically, access to the Gulf of Aden and the mouth of the Red Sea matters for naval posture, surveillance of maritime routes, and the ability to counter Iranian influence or Turkish presence in the region. Formal recognition reduces legal and political frictions for negotiating port agreements, overflight or basing rights, and sustained intelligence cooperation. Economically, ports and logistics present private and state investors with lucrative opportunities, container traffic, bunkering, ship repair, and supply chains. Domestically, an assertive foreign policy plays well with constituencies that value strategic reach. Somaliland's elite pursue their own clear incentives. Decades without recognition created an appetite for diplomatic patrons who can unlock investment and security guarantees. A formal partner willing to sign deals, short circuits, lengthy regional diplomacy, and strengthens local rulers' grip on revenue streams from ports and related infrastructure. That, in turn, creates political incentives to prioritize external patrons over negotiated settlement with Mogadishu. Those overlapping interests shape behavior. For Israel, recognition is an economic and strategic tool. It lowers risk for contractors and militaries, justifies presence, and provides leverage to secure infrastructure and intelligence footholds. For Somaliland's leaders, recognition is convertible into investment and legitimacy at home, encouraging unilateralism rather than compromise. For Somalia and its allies, the move is a provocation that drives defensive diplomacy, mobilizes continental institutions, and opens the door to counter-alignments with rivals of Israel. The distortions are consequential. Endorsing Somaliland's independence weakens norms that the AU relies on to contain secessionist claims, making future breakaway projects easier to justify. Mogadishu loses bargaining power and may respond by seeking external security backers or by escalating militarized responses, raising the risk of clashes. Neighboring states worry about spillover instability and a new pattern of competing foreign bases near their borders. Civilians face mixed outcomes. Short-term jobs from port projects and roads are possible, but elite captures of revenue and security contracts can deepen inequality and fuel local unrest. Militarization of coastal facilities increases the chance of naval incidents or proxy skirmishes involving Iran, Turkey, or Gulf actors. Reputational politics also matter. Israel is at the center of global controversy over Gaza. It has faced accusations, including from UN human rights bodies, proceedings at the International Court of Justice, and scrutiny by the International Criminal Court that include allegations amounting to genocide. That baggage makes some African capitals wary of close association and may limit how many states follow Israel's lead, even as private investors and certain governments weigh immediate economic gain. Who gains and who loses is uneven. Somaliland's leaders and early investors see diplomatic legitimacy, capital inflows, and security guarantees. Israel gains a forward position in a strategic maritime corridor and signals it will use recognition as leverage elsewhere. Somalia, the AU's border norm, and regional stability are the losers. Institutions that discourage redrawing colonial lines lose credibility, and neighbouring states confront a new set of geopolitical calculations. This case shows how a small diplomatic act, recognition, can be repurposed as an instrument of access to ports, overflight, bases, and intelligence. Those moves recalibrate incentives on the ground, often rewarding short-term gains for elites while increasing fragility for civilians and regional institutions. Consider the trade-offs. Which short-term benefits will become long-term liabilities, and which norms are being eroded for immediate advantage? If this episode raised questions for you about recognition, ports, or military access as levers of influence, leave a comment with what matters most to you. For more calm, evidence-driven looks at how external interests reshape fragile conflicts, consider subscribing. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to hear of new content. We'd love to hear your comments.